Good day, gentlemen. I've been with my girl for over 5.5 years, and we've built a fantastic, peaceful, passionate, fulfilling, secure relationship together. But not just that. For the last 4.5 years, I've also been working at least 60 hours per week. Right now I'm working around 70 to 75 hours a week. And I'm not saying that to brag, I'm simply saying that to tell you this is possible. You can be in a long-term relationship and work hard and work a lot. Not just make these two work at the same time, but they actually can support each other. And I'll tell you why, and I'll tell you how in this video. I want to give you 4 key lessons that helped me not just combine working hard and my relationship, but actually helps me supercharge them together, right? My work supports my relationship and my relationship supports my work. Because at the end of the day, man, this was one of the biggest problems. I'm not kidding. This was one of the biggest problems at the start of my relationship, where she probably every day said to me, you work too much, you work too much, you don't spend enough time with me, this, that, right? And I then often started working less, but that didn't help at all. And I'll tell you why in a second. So at the end of the day, I want to help you get to this point where I am now, where both support each other, both supercharge each other, work and relationship, because that's a very fulfilling place to be as an ambitious man who also wants a relationship. Lesson number 1, we're getting right into this. This is crucial for you to understand. Lesson number 1 is when she says something like, oh, you're working too much, or something of a similar manner, right? That's actually a smokescreen for a deeper thing that she feels, but that she doesn't express. And almost like an objection in sales, right? Where someone says, oh, I need to think about it. What they actually mean is, oh, I have some kind of fear, or I need to think about the logistics of this thing, or, well, I don't really have the money, and I don't want to admit that I don't have the money because that's kind of embarrassing, right? So what they actually mean is not, I need to think about it. No one's gonna, after a sales call, for example, no one's gonna go and say, oh, I'll think about it for 2 hours now. No one's gonna do that. They just have some fear or something else holding them back, right? Same thing is true for your girl here. I hope this analogy made sense for the entrepreneurs and the professionals watching this. It definitely does. At the end of the day, what I want to let you know here is, if she says you're working too much, she doesn't actually mean that you're working too much. She means something different. Like I said, it's a smokescreen. And the thing is, many men, most men, they complain about the fact that women sometimes talk in riddles, right? She says this, but what she actually means is this. The thing is, even if you could force her to change, even if you could force her to communicate in your way, which is very linear, right? Very straightforward, very logical. Even if you could do that, and she would communicate in that way, then you wouldn't be attracted to her anymore. Because her speaking in riddles is a part of her feminine essence. And I'm not talking about male and female gender roles, I'm talking about feminine and masculine sexual energy here, right? And for the feminine, it is often described as an ocean, vast, beautiful, powerful, radiant, but also chaotic and uncontrollable and unpredictable. And if you take away these sides, the chaos, the unpredictability, you won't get the vastness and the beauty. Those two, they work together. You need both. And so, for you, it is crucial to, first of all, just understand that this is a smokescreen, that that's not actually what she means, and you need to find out what she actually means with this, right? Good example of this, for example, nice. But a good example for this is, one of my clients, he recently told me he was on holiday with his girl, and then one day while they were out, she said something like, oh, I'm tired. And then he talked about sleep and about being tired and all that stuff, but what she actually meant, and she told him this afterwards, was, I want to go back to the hotel or to the Airbnb. I'm tired. I don't want to keep going here. What she said was, I'm tired. What she meant was, I want to go back to the Airbnb and relax. Make sense? At the end of the day, if you don't know what she means, if you don't know her deeply enough, then you need to just ask her questions. You need to just ask her questions and really figure out what to do here. Because if you reply or you act without knowing how to reply or how to act, then you're just gonna make the problem worse. If you know, oh, she says she's tired, which means she wants to go back to the Airbnb, then do that. But if she says I'm tired and you don't really know what to do there, or she says you're working too much and you don't really know what to do there, what to change, why she's actually saying that, then you need to ask her. And of course, she would rather you figure it out by yourself, or you know this stuff, because that shows that you deeply know her. But if you don't know her yet that deeply, and this, by the way, can be after years of being in a relationship, if you don't know this stuff, then you don't know her deeply enough yet to actually know what she truly wants. Well then, ask her. Ask her what she truly wants and like, hey, help me understand this quickly. You say this, but what do you actually want? What do you want to do, right? There's no shame in that, because over time that will help you understand her better, and then you won't have to ask anymore. Point number 2 is even more important. Point number 2 is she doesn't actually want to hold you back from working hard and working a lot. She just wants to challenge you a bit to show you that there is a better way to do it. And what I mean with this is very simple. At the end of the day, if a woman stays with you, she sees the trajectory that you're on, and she sees whether that fits to what she wants from you or not. And so if she stays with you, she will test you. She will, that's what the red pill calls it, right? The shit testing. Or she will challenge you. That's what I call it, because that's what it truly is. It is a challenge because 2 reasons. Firstly, the masculine grows by challenge. You're the more masculine partner, right? And so she wants to challenge you so you can overcome those challenges and become a better man for yourself, for her, for your children, for everyone around you, right? And the second reason is she wants and needs constant reassurance that you're on the right path and that you are the man that she wants to be with. Not because she's insecure or anything. Of course, an anxiously attached woman will do this even more. And by the way, these tests aren't conscious by her. Some women do this consciously, but most women, it's just her feminine intuition subconsciously testing the man to see, hey, is he the man that I want to be with? Is he a man that I want to sleep with, that I want to have children with, right? Is he the man that I want to get pregnant with? For a woman, there's way more risk of being in a relationship and having sex with someone than for a man, right? And so she needs that reassurance constantly because the feminine lives in the present. She doesn't care about what happened 3 days ago. She cares about what's happening right now. And this is also why these arguments so often happen in relationship, where she says, oh, you're not doing this and you're not doing that, and you're like, but I did it last week. Like, what the fuck do you even mean? And she's like, oh, but you're never doing it. Oh, and you're like, but I did it last week. She doesn't care about last week. She cares about right now. Simple as that. And of course, there are women who do this in a toxic way, in a bad way, and if you're with one of those women, you should get out of this shit. But at the end of the day, a good woman, and you know intuitively whether she's a good woman or not, a good woman, just be honest with yourself, you know whether you're with a good woman or not. A good woman will test you, she will challenge you, because she wants that constant reassurance and she wants you to grow at the end of the day. What you need to understand is that this constant testing is part of her feminine ocean, right? That ocean that we talked about earlier, it's a part of that as well. And your job, to speak in an analogy here again, your job is to become that confident sailor, right? Imagine that old white beard sailor, right? His face is completely like wrinkled because of salt water and because of the sun and everything. Imagine that kind of person with how much skill and willingness he maneuvers a storm. That's what you have to do here as well. You have to navigate her challenges, her tests, like a confident sailor. Now, lesson number 3, we're going to go even deeper into this. But before we do that, I just want to quickly say, if you are actually serious about taking your relationship to that next level, to that passionate, secure, and peaceful level where you have fun with her, but you don't know how to get there, then what you can do is you can apply for a discovery call with me. Let me help you get to that relationship, because I've done it for myself. I've done it for multiple of my clients now. Let me help you get there. This discovery call is completely free, so there's no risk for you. Check out the link in the description. I'm excited to talk to you there. Now, point number 3 is quite simple. Like we said, she's trying to test you to gain reassurance for herself and to help you on your path. But actually, there's 2 ways in which she's testing you. First of all, she's testing whether you are truthful. Hello. Whether you are lying to yourself. Because sometimes you are working too much, and not just too much, but too much time. You're working too ineffectively, and she knows that. She can feel that, right? I don't know what's going on now. At the end of the day, I hope the cows are not too distracting, but what she's really trying to do is she's trying to see whether you can admit that you're wrong and that she's right sometimes. Because many men, they can't do that. They see deep down they see, oh yeah, she's actually right, I am working too much and I am exhausting myself and this is not even effective for the work that I'm doing. But I won't admit that because of my ego. And your woman can see that, right? Her feminine intuition can read you like a book. At the end of the day, there's this story that the bodybuilder, entrepreneur, father, husband, Chris Bumstead tells, where he was a couple of weeks... Hey, calm down, man. Yeah. So, anyway, sorry for the distraction. Chris Bumstead talks about this, right? And this was his story, a couple of weeks out from his bodybuilding show or something. And his, back then still girlfriend, she asked him, hey, what's wrong? He was like, nothing. What do you mean? She's like, no, really, Chris, what's wrong? And after asking like 5, 6, 7, 8 times, he broke down completely on the bathroom floor, just sobbing. And she could see that something was wrong. The thing is, why does the feminine, why do women, mostly because they're mostly feminine, right? Why do feminine people more easily see when something's wrong? Because they have more empathy. They have more of that feminine intuition and can see more, hey, something's going wrong here. They're the mother, most likely, right? So they need to see what's wrong with the child. And so at the end of the day, man, she can see your facial expressions, your small details in your face or in your body language way better than you could on her. And so she knows if something is wrong, and she knows if you're lying to yourself, and she wants to see whether you have integrity. Because if she tells you you're working too much and she knows it's actually true, she's not testing you, but she's testing whether you have integrity. And then you say, oh no, I'm not. And you get defensive about it, right? That's not going to help your relationship at all, because she knows you're lying to yourself, and you know you're lying to yourself as well. That loses trust. Both trust she has in you and trust you have in yourself. Ask yourself this: are you actually working in a productive manner? Are you actually focusing on the most important tasks? Or are you just doing random tasks throughout the day that are on some like to-do list or something? Do you actually have a long-term vision and a long-term goal and short-term steps to that? And are you working towards those? Are you actually making good progress recently? Because if you're not, then she is right. Then you are maybe working too much, maybe too many hours, right? Instead of actually focusing on the most important things. And man, you need to be truthful with yourself here. That's the most important part. Just be honest with yourself. Because man, I get more done nowadays. I make more progress. I don't get necessarily more done, but getting more done simply means I make more progress in 2 hours than I would a couple of years ago in literally a week. I'm not even kidding you, because I'm focusing on the most important things. It's 7:30 a.m. right now. This is the first thing I'm doing right now. I'm doing today. What am I doing? I'm filming a video. Most important task. Simple. And also the hardest task. It's not easy to film these videos. It's not easy to explain all these concepts in such a simple manner for you. But I'm doing it first thing in the morning. Now here's the second reason why she says that, and this is where the testing really comes in. She says you work too much to see whether you let her get you off your path, even though you know you're not working too much. Because sometimes you know you're not working too much. You know that you're not even at your limit yet. Not even close. But she says you're working too much. You're doing this, you're doing that. She's becoming that woman in the red dress, right, from the movie Matrix. A distraction. She's trying to distract you. She's trying to see whether she can get you off your path. And at the end of the day, if she does, right, the best analogy for this is if she gets you off your path by you working and her sexually offering herself to you, right, then, well, she can't trust you, because that simply means that a naked woman can get you off your path. How trustworthy are you if that happens? How trustworthy are you as a man if a random naked, of course your girlfriend or wife is not a random naked woman, but you get the point, right? If a naked woman can get you off your path, how trustworthy are you really? And the thing is, man, I get it. Because the warm bed in the morning, it's cuddly, it's warm, it's comfortable, right? Going on a hike with your girl is more comfortable and more relaxing and more enjoyable than working sometimes, or having sex, or whatever it might be. But at the end of the day, man, I gave in a lot to these, or not even gave in, but I just fell for these almost traps a lot in the past. Not necessarily traps, but I acted inauthentic. Let's just put it like that. I just acted inauthentic. There was one specific time that I remember. This was, I think, in spring of 2021, so over 3 years ago, where my girl and I wanted to go skiing, but the resort didn't open that day for some reason. We were already at the chairlift and everything, but it didn't open. Maybe too much snow or something. But it was spring, it was warm, it was sunny, so we decided, hey, let's just go to the nearby lake, eat the lunch that we brought there, and hang out there a bit. To be honest with you, I just went along with her, but in reality, the moment I saw that that resort won't open that day, I was like, cool, I can use that day for work now. I have a lot to do. Let's go. But then I gave in. I acted inauthentic. And that didn't help anyone. Because it made me resent her. It made me resent myself. It made her resent me as well. Because it made me resent myself because, well, I was lying to myself. It made me resent her because she kind of pushed me to do something that I didn't want to do. It made her resent me because I wasn't being present when we actually were at that lake, right? I was just grumpy and thinking about work and thinking that I don't want to be here and all that stuff. I couldn't be present with her, and she could see that I was acting inauthentic. She could see that I was not really trustworthy in that moment because I let the woman in the red dress distract me from what I was actually trying to do and from what I actually wanted to do authentically, right? So make sure you know this. Just be truthful to yourself. What do you actually want to do? Does she have a point, or is she trying to get you off your path? That's what you need to really understand here. And now to point number 4. This is the most important point in this video. I always leave the most important point until the end of these videos because I only want the guys who actually fully take action or actually serious about making a change. I only want those to get the best lessons. And lesson number 4 might sound very simple, but it is way deeper, I can promise you that. Lesson number 4 is she complains about, oh, you work too much, because you're not being present. What she wants from you is your masculine consciousness, your pervasive love, your deep presence when you're with her. And if she doesn't get that, because you're still thinking about work or because you're thinking about something different, then she can't be happy, then she can't relax, then she can't trust you, quite frankly. At the end of the day, man, like we already said, the feminine lives in the present. She wants to feel loved by you right now. She wants to feel that you are right there with her. Mentally, physically, emotionally, sexually, spiritually, whatever it might be, she wants you to be right there with her. And if you can't do that, then she's not going to be fulfilled. And the problem that comes up with this is, well, if she says you work too much, and then you work less, and you let that woman in the red dress get you off your path, right? Even though you know you're not working too much. And then you spend more time with her. What happens? You're not present, because you're still thinking about your work. So when she says you work too much, spending more time with her often isn't actually the solution. You have to be honest with yourself. I can't tell you, I don't know you yet. Get everything done before you spend time with her. And if you didn't get everything done, then I'll give you a bonus lesson later on. But first and foremost, get everything done before you spend time with her. For example, today, I know I'm gonna spend the afternoon with my girl today. I'm working extra hard today. I got up a little earlier and I'm getting all my shit done, so I have my shit done at 3 p.m. when we hang out, right? The thing is this, man. If you get everything done and you work more effectively and you work, more efficiently most importantly of all. Most important? Man, I'm German, sometimes my English isn't perfect, but you get the point, right? If you do all that, and then you also learn... The cows are really distracting today. And then you also learn how to deeply pervade her, how to give her your deep love, your deep presence. That will fulfill her, that will fill her up with love for days and make her happy and bubbly for days. Then you crack the jackpot. You've seen this. After having had great sex with your girl, for example, what happened was she was literally happy and bubbly and almost childish for days, right? You can do that, not just with sex, but also with your actual just love and presence, if you learn how to. And then she's gonna be fulfilled by your love, like filled up with your love for days. And that's what you want for her. That's where you find her most attractive, right? That's where she's most horny as well, right? Get what I'm saying? Let her know about your willingness and your ability to break through her barriers, to navigate her storms, because that also shows her how you can navigate the storms and the barriers and the challenges of the world. And that makes you trustworthy, right? And here's the bonus lesson. Switch from work mode to love mode by relaxing. It is sometimes hard to think to switch from your very logical, very straightforward, very masculine work mode to your more flowing love mode, right? When you're just hanging out with her. The best thing to do here, if you often have this problem of you're still thinking about work, you're still obsessing about some work task or something, is learn how to relax deeply. Learn how to deeply relax your body and your mind before going and spending time with her, and also use her feminine attractiveness, use her beauty, use her radiance to almost as a slingshot into becoming present and becoming relaxed. Because an unrelaxed, intense body and mind, what does that lead to? Well, it leads to feeling stressed, it leads to not being present, it leads to premature ejaculation, it leads to erectile dysfunction because the body is too tense, right? It leads to you being a castrated male in that sense, like castrated, right? You get the point, you get the analogy. So make sure to relax, make sure to learn how to deeply relax, even in day-to-day life. I could be very stressed right now filming this video because a lot of people will see this and all that. But I'm in nature, I'm watching the cows, I'm looking at the lake over there, I feel the cold air, I'm very present. That's why I talk so slowly. But this is not just because I look at the lake or something, this is because I've learned how to deeply relax my mind and my body, how to be fully present. I'm in a full flow state right now, and I think you can feel that. Now, I know that you're ambitious. I know that you're a man who wants to take action because you're still watching this video instead of watching some random entertainment video, right? Let me just remind you though, you're feeling all accomplished right now after watching a 20-minute video of a guy really giving you a lot of deep advice on an issue that you're facing in your relationship. You're feeling all accomplished right now. You haven't changed anything though. You haven't changed anything yet. Your relationship is still below your standard. Just please remind yourself of that. And I don't want to make you feel bad. I just want to say, please remind yourself of that. Ground yourself again. And if you are serious about really taking your relationship to that deeper, more secure, more passionate, more fun, more peaceful state, then you can always apply for a discovery call with me. Stop sitting around, stop procrastinating. You know I can help you because otherwise you wouldn't be watching this video. So apply for that call with me right now. There's a link in the description, and let me help you get to that state, to that relationship where she feels deeply loved, deeply desired, deeply peaceful and childish and bubbly, and you feel deeply respected and deeply grounded